within you. So these are show that you don't bring feelings, and if you bring feelings, we align you. Okay, so you are allowed to bring feelings. You are allowed to bring your opinion and judgments, and of course, we are here to learn. We are here to realign ourselves because we realize that identity is basically, we say it, pillar number 0 of healthcare is identities. This is where everything starts from. You cannot be able to develop the discipline, the consistency, and the patience to do everything when your identity is a mess, when you don't even have the identity, when you don't know who you are. And we agreed that the spiritual order of life is God above men, men above women, women above children. That should be an intro for these shows or for this platform. That God above men, men above women, women above children. Now, this does not care if you have a career as a woman. It doesn't care if you're in a masculine space. It doesn't, whichever space you're in, it doesn't care. It doesn't matter. That spiritual order of life must be maintained. And the moment you start just getting out of that spiritual order of life, you get punishment. All right? You get punishment. So anytime you realize you have anger, just know you were raised wrong. Anytime you have expectations from people, just know you were raised wrong. Anytime you get judgment or you have an opinion about anything, anytime you pick sides, you are raised wrong. And you can catch yourself doing these things every single day, right? There are things that are actually very normal. And the moment you start working on yourself to overcome the spirit of evil, which is anger, that's when you start realizing, you start looking and just realizing how a mess the world is. And it shall not get better. The world is in a total mess and it's going to get worse. Why? Because 99.9% of people, 999% of people are evil. If any case, just the same way in NTSA says that you are the only sane driver on the road. This is the same thing. That you, who is continuously working on yourself to become better, you are the only sane person in the world. Everyone around you is evil, including your mama. Uncle Chile is talking bad about my mother. Yes. He talks bad about women. Yeah, he's not talking bad. It's just who has a problem. Because you expect me to actually say things that massage you. I will not. The truth does not care. As long as you're on the other side, you get punishment. So you were born on a path with an identity. All right? And then the moment you popped out of your mother's womb, reconditioning started. The conditioning started. The script was written. Your mother said this to you, how to be a woman, how to get married, how to raise a family, how to behave like a lady or a girl. Your father told you, oh, you know what, this is how a man behaves. You must be able to provide, to lead, and to do all this and this. Yet he was not even leading. He was not even providing because he was sharing bills with your mother. And then, of course, he made your mother to become very angry at him. She resented him and she became just like him, wicked and evil. And that anger was now taught to you when your mother remodeled you into her own image to protect you against the weaknesses of your father. And look at you now. Look at you now, angry as crazy, and you don't know why you're angry. And then you go to a therapist and you practice all those breathing exercises, and you're like, you know what? I have control over anger. Just wait a minute. Somebody else irritates you and you're there blasting. They are bursting in anger. You're like, but you said you have control. What happened? So there are things you don't have control over. Stop telling us that I have control over my life. I have control over what is going to happen in the future. I'm doing this so that the future becomes this. You don't even have that future, for heaven's sake. You only have now. So then I hear people telling me, if I get my debt, let me say I go and forgive my mother. After forgiving my mother and forgiving my father, now I'm a free agent. I did that, but I still find myself getting angry. Yes, because one, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. And most of you go to your parents and you tell your parents, I forgive you. You have no power to forgive. You as a human being don't have the power to forgive. You're not even going to your mother or your father to actually ask for forgiveness. You're going to them to admit wrong. When you're going to find an identity from your parents who conditioned you and remodeled you into their own image, which is a false identity, you're going to take back your identity. So you're not going there with any expectations. You're not going there to seek forgiveness or to forgive them. You're simply admitting fault. That's why that statement of saying, I am wrong for resenting you is very important, because you're admitting fault. Once you admit fault, God takes it over. And you realize you don't have control over anything because you have spirits inside you that actually control you. A very good example is a sensitive topic that we always talk about and everybody gets mad. This sensitive topic about rape. About rape is a very crazy topic, and I hope we can get to talk about it today. If any case, we can actually make it a whole conversation today. Rape is a serious thing, but the victims of rape, just a minute. My people on Facebook shall have to be patient a little bit. Good, we are back. So the victims of rape are constantly struggling with anger towards the perpetrators. But then, even right now, use your phone, go on Google and just try to text or search if you can actually face the ones who actually raped you, to apologize to them. Do you know what it says? It tells you that that you're supposed to be in a safe space. You're not supposed to go and face the perpetrators because you're putting yourself in danger. I remember one day I put this post on Facebook that those who have been raped and they're struggling to overcome anger, they're hurting other people because of what happened to them. They're actually living in their past instead of actually overcoming the past and staying present. Because whatever happened, you don't have control over. It is not happening now. You're not being raped now. So you need to overcome that so that you don't hurt other people who are coming into your life. So I put it out, and then of course the psychologists, they came in with the ego. I am a psychologist, and have you read the book from whatever psychologist to XYZ? I was just like, how can you tell somebody who was raped to go and face the one who raped them, to apologize? That is the one who actually caused us problems. So why would we face them and apologize to them? I'm just like, but you've been doing that all the time. But has it worked? How is it possible that these ladies are turning into being lesbians? How are they growing up resenting men so badly that they choose to have sexual relationships with the same gender, only to realize that they are empty and they are being hurt by the same gender? How? And you're telling them, you know what, you should just forgive from within and keep moving. You should never face them. If any case, they should face the law. Yes, rapists should face the law, and rape is a very serious offense, and nobody is actually promoting it. We are saying that is criminal, and people have to face the law. However, this is not a battle between men and women. This is a battle between what is right and what is evil. If you look at it that way, you realize you resenting the one who actually raped you, you're being evil, just like them. That's why you have anger. So anger is going to destroy, it's going to blind you from seeing the truth. So therefore, go and face that person and overcome them. Tell them, you know what, whatever you did, I understand now because I've seen light that you didn't have control over it. I apologize for resenting you. I know it wasn't right, but you already did it and you didn't have control, because you know now that this person did not have control over what they were doing. The spirit that lives in them, that is actually in you, the spirit of evil, is the one that controlled them to do what they did. If they knew better, they wouldn't have done it. They wouldn't have done it, but you look at yourself judging them. Look at your mother judging the one who raped you, yet your mother has actually encouraged you to do an abortion because he doesn't like your boyfriend. How many women, how many mothers are actually pushing their daughters to abort because they actually got pregnant before they got married? And you know what? She is a church lady. Your mother is she's that woman that other women look up to in a society. So she doesn't want blemish. She wants her daughter to get married and get children in wedlock. And boom, that pressure got on you because you tried to run away from it. You attracted it. You got a man who is irresponsible, ejaculated in you, and guess what? Now the same mother is telling you, oh, you know, I am so disappointed. They actually played that victim. I'm so disappointed. Oh, after all I've done to you, for you, this is what you can actually reward me with. And then you feel the guilt, and then you go and she takes you to even nakupeleka kwa mtu wa kutoa mimba. Because she wants you as pure as the lamb, but with the wounds of the abortion that you did. Hey, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Uncle Chile in the building. Let me shout out to people from your area code. Tell us who you are and where you're watching us from, because it's going to get deeper, harder, and tougher. It's going to get real. So if you have feelings, those feelings, take them in a dustbin somewhere and come back. Because here we humble those feelings. We speak how we want to speak it, the way it is, because the one that is speaking through us is a different voice. It's a different voice. Somebody from Southampton. Gatimi, how are you? From Southampton. Let me say shout out to people on my YouTube. Of course, I saw Ramadan came in so early. Ramadan, how are you, brother? It's amazing to have you here. I can see Memories in the building. I can see Kariuki Nagi is in the building. I can see Bube Agnes is in the building. Nerima Onganga, welcome on board. I can see Yvonne Mukire, Sarah Vuma, Liam Gaming, Amazing. Amazing. I can see Eunice Ayako, Carol Kidi, Karanja Logedi, Cecilia Ndunge, Sarah Vumagen, J Opande, Purity Wamboi, Daktari karibu sana. Thika Mambodok, Ndibo Kenya. Poa sana brother. 237 is in the building. Amazing. Thika was a home for a long period of time to me. Hey man. 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗃. Ooh, Thika today is Friday. Every road right now, it's headed to Nakuru or to Thika. Anasa Promax. 254, Kadiri, live from UAE. Amazing. Welcome on board, Kadiri. 360, you are really helping the public. I appreciate. It's the spirit that works through me. Trust me, if it was me, I wouldn't want to help you guys. It's like a forex trader telling you they want to show you how to make money. The evil spirit inside them cannot allow them to make you all of us become billionaires. How? The spirit of evil inside us cannot allow us to share tips for you to get better. No way. No. I come here, sit here. In my evil nature, I can go somewhere and take 2 for the road, and then come back with the 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗲 and bomoa that chick the whole night. And you're telling me I'm sitting here for 2 hours to talk to you about identities. I would fix my identity and disappear in the forest. But the spirit that speaks through you is bigger than you. Therefore, overcome that spirit of anger. Suzy, how are you? Caliph Jr., Arizona, Phoenix is in the building. I can see Nyager, Mariakani. Edan, I see you. Magi from Nakuru, Las Vegas. Watu wa Shabe mko wapi? Watu wa Kaptebo, watu wa section 58. Watu wa Lanet, watu wa Gilgil. Mko wapi? It's amazing. Born to win. Hey, born to win. That's a very big name. Hello, Flory. Chito is in the building. Wairimu from Eldoret. Masi Waidera from Kitale. Kitale. Don't remind me of mambo ya Kitale. Kitale wachana. So big thank you so much Wanjiru Mutiga from Limuru. Watu wa Njoro mko ndani ya nyumba by the way. Watu wa Njoro. Njoro. Njoro tulikula ngano. Sasa nikiwaambia ati avoid wheat. Njoro nilikula ngano, acha tu. Eldoret tuko ndani, that is Shuk. Somebody from Bakasi Feather, that is Botoski. Tuambie story ya Kitale. Zingine mnaacha tu, tunaacha nazo. Olive from Kiamunyi. Kiamunyi Nakuru, right? Pale juu. Mambo ya Kiamunyi pia ni ngumu. But anyway, we keep moving. I don't want you guys to be looking at me with a judgmental eye. Somebody from Juja ndani Wanjiku. Juja wapi? Wapi Juja? The Sin City. People look at me with a judgmental eye. Every time I meet you on the streets, you're like, hey, daktari, ile story yako identity. Lakini daktari wewe, I'm angry. I try not to respond thanks to your advice. Does it change the fact that I am still angry? TM, this is amazing. That's a very good question, a brilliant one. Now, you are angry because you want to be angry, because you want to stick in that position. That's the reality, bro. If you can actually change the fact where you get the anger from, you will be so okay. The reason why we talk about you overcoming your mother is because your mother is the source of these emotions. Mothers are the source of emotions. Mothers have some form of control on children. They remodel them into their own image. And you see, this is not a wrong thing. It's not a wrong move. No. It is just that they do this because they don't know how better to do it. They try to guard you against the evil nature or the weaknesses in your father, because women hate weak fathers. So what they do is they try to coat you against the weaknesses of your father. And by doing that, they're trying to model you into their own image. Now you start to struggle because you adapt your mother's image. So most of the men, most of the children have their mother inside them. Now they're struggling with anger because their mother is controlling them. The spirit of evil that was introduced to them by the emotions that came from the mother is the reason why they have anger. So now they have to overcome anger. And the only way to overcome anger is to overcome the one who taught them anger. And that's your mother. And also overcome the one who actually made your mother to teach you this. So that's your father. You overcome the weaknesses of your father and you overcome the anger from your mother and you become sane. Now the truth is this. You might think just because you overcome your mother, the anger will disappear. That is you being full of expectation. You don't go to your mother expecting that once I forgive her, I'll be okay. Once I overcome her, I'll be okay. Because this is a lifetime battle. 99.9% of human beings around you are evil. They're trying to hurt you, they're trying to recondition you, they're trying to write a script for you, and you will always be playing that script. So it's you to identify that this voice in your head is not your voice. So the only way to identify that voice is by overcoming your mother and overcoming your father. That's when you see things from your own window. That is the time you will start to understand when somebody is trying to irritate you, you realize that nobody or nothing from outside you can actually irritate you. If you don't have anger, you cannot get angry. That's the point. Without anger, you cannot get angry. So because you have anger, you simply react to how people treat you. You simply expect people to treat you in a certain way. So if they don't behave that way, you become angry, you overreact. So you're basically overreacting to the external environment because your internal is a mess. So the only way to do that is to overcome the internal and fix the internal so that you can be sure. Because identity, what it does to you, it makes sure that you can identify that the voice that is heading into your head, that is speaking loudly into your head, that is making you try to overreact, that is not the voice of good. That is the voice of evil. So identity helps you to identify that that is not my voice. And then you simply relax into it and it's gone. All right, that voice becomes louder because it wants you to chase the thrill of feeling good. It wants you to chase the thrill of feeling actually the bigger one in this one. In every argument, you just want to win. You just want to feel good. You want to make them feel bad so that you feel good. Okay? You want to make them feel bad. That's why when somebody abuses you, you want to abuse them the bigger abuse so that they feel bad. And now you win the argument and now you feel good. But 10 minutes down the line, the same voice that was telling you to go and abuse the other person comes here and tells you, know what, you need to apologize. Go and apologize. And the moment you go to apologize, it's not because you are true. It's not because it's a true apology. It's just because you want to feel good, because you feel guilty for actually overreacting. So now it comes in and lies to you. Oh, shout at them so that they know who you are. I mean, you have a degree. Tell them that you're a doctor. Tell them you're a psychologist. Tell them they don't know what they are saying. Tell them they are wrong when you don't know what is wrong and what is right because you're operating from the center of evil, anger. And then once you overreact, that spirit feels good in you. It pumps you. Hey, you feel like you're sweating. Yeah, you're tremoring. So there are people who get angry, they start shaking. Unajua mimi nikikasirika natingika sana. Mimi natetemeka. Mimi ni kama niko na epilepsy. Nimeshikwa na roho. Natetemeka vibaya sana. So you see guys explaining that, you're just like, what are you saying? What are you saying? I used to say that. You know, mimi nikikasirika, kwanza nikijaa mimi natetemeka mbaya sana. I shake when I'm angry. And then somebody asks you, who gets you angry? People. You say, oh, my husband, oh, my children, my mother, relatives. No one can get you angry. No one can trigger you. Nothing from outside you can trigger you if you don't have anger. You have anger, and people or things simply help you to exercise that anger. So therefore, you must overcome the anger in you so that you stop blaming other people. You don't play a victim. Oh, you should see how women play victims. And on victimhood, let me explain something. I saw somebody from huko kwetu. Amepotea. Somebody from sijui wapi. Ebunangwe emuhaya. Really? Amazing. Amazing to have people from my area code. Now, let me tell you something. Doc, I personally feel it's impossible to please the dead. Guide me if I'm wrong. Gatimi, I don't understand what you're saying. That it's impossible to please the dead. You're not pleasing anybody. Why do you want to please the dead? Kindly bring that conversation on board. I would actually want to get it from you. And yeah, I should do better. You're actually doing better already. You're doing better. It's just that you are unable to identify that you're actually doing better in the present. The voice in your head is telling you that you deserve better and you can actually do better. You see, it's sending you into the future. You don't have the future. At this moment in time, you don't have anger. You're feeling good. You're better in this moment. So focus on this moment. All right? Focus on this moment. Let me get to this. Let me hear Katimi. I want to understand this conversation about the dead. South B representing 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗄. Hello, Katimi. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good. There's something you're trying to say. I didn't get it right. Kindly. Yes.
Both my parents are deceased, yeah?
Yes.
And it's become the norm, like every now and then when there's something that needs to be done, my siblings are saying, no, we need to do this because we need to please my dad and mom.
Yes.
And I'm feeling like, no, it's not possible. Do something because you want to and it's coming from your heart.
Yes.
Not from a guilty point of view. You're guilt stripping people.
Yes.
So that's my stand, but I just choose, I'm seeking to be advised because I feel you can't please them. You can't please anybody who's gone. You do something because that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You're doing it from a point of love and, but not because you're being guilt stripped. Because 10, 15 years, how long are you going to continue trying to please people who are gone?
First things first. First things first, allow me to say this, that why do you think they want to please the dead? Imagine that statement, that they want to please the dead.
I just use the word please because
yes,
it always comes out like, no, this will make mom and dad happy or proud if we do it. And I'm like, how?
But the dead don't care. They've already transitioned.
Yes.
They've already transitioned into a different world, and they don't care. They are now different spirits. So why would you do things to please them? That's just ego. And either way, everybody is operating under the scent of evil. They have evil in them. They don't understand better, and we can actually understand how deep the control was. They are being controlled so badly by your late parents, and that's weird. So they've actually decided and chosen to stick to that form of control. That's why they're doing everything to please something that is not even existent. It doesn't even make sense. So you should never get to that level. And by the way, the truth is you should never seek advice, because if I advise you, I'm trying to remodel you into my own image. All right? So that makes you a mini version of me, and that's wrong. So the truth is, you should focus on you. Don't focus on them. Don't focus on what they're saying. Focus on you, become better, and possibly you can actually be the light of that family. Because sometimes people are in the dark, and all of us are in the dark. So actually, most of the times, all of us are in the dark, and we need to wake up from the dark and come to the light. And since you, 𝗟𝗏𝗄, have seen the light, you don't have to push them to see the light. You simply need to actually shine light upon their path naturally by working on yourself. So therefore, you'll never find a reason to argue with them when they say they want to please the dead. It's okay. I mean, how is that? What does that have to do with you? It has nothing to do with you. So therefore, you make your point.
It is because when I take my stand, it's like I'm seen like I'm not supporting. We're supposed to have an united front, but I am of a different opinion. Yeah, but listen to me. You see, my parents were here. You see, you're going into the imagination. You don't have to go into the imagination. You do you. Like, you've made a stand. That is it. Period. Stick to that stand as long as it's coming in from the revelations of the truth. Because if you have overcome anger, you can't judge them. You understand they are in the dark, so you can't pass a judgment over them. And you don't have an opinion to this. So what you do is you make your point, and that's it. Your role is to make your point and keep moving, because the spirit that is working through, it's not you who is even making that point. It is the spirit that lives in you that actually works through you. Okay? So when you're making a point, it's not you who is making the point. It is that spirit. So there are two spirits, either of the evil that operates under anger, or the spirit of good that is love. So when you have the spirit of good, you don't care how they will react to what you say. You simply say it because that spirit does not even put in your head any ideas. You're speaking from a revelation, not from ideas in your head. Because the moment you go into your ideas, you start overthinking things, you start going into the imagination, and you're doing things for validation. You want to say things that will massage them so that you know you operate as a family. You are not a family. You're just you as 𝗟𝗏𝗄. Yeah. Yeah. So the essence of, like, say for example, you have some siblings, maybe you are told, no, you need to do A, B, C, D for the person. And I'm like, I'm an individual and I'm living my own life. I would only come through when and if I am able, and when it is coming from a point of love and a point of wanting to help. But nobody should put like a yoke on me to help sibling A, B, or C. No. But you see, you don't have control over that, because everybody around you is evil. Yeah. It's only you who has seen the light. Exactly. So you have no control over that. Whatever they want to do, if they want to put a yoke, that yoke does not exist. Okay? It doesn't exist. You just understand you don't have these things that we call it, oh, you know, we are family. We are not family, we're just people. And most people are evil. So therefore, if you've seen the light, you know better. You can't operate with them in the darkness. You stick to the light. Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Amazing. Amazing. That's the point. The point is you don't want to make any. You don't want to make them follow you. You don't want to make them understand you. They don't have to.
You're not here to be understood. No, you're here to speak the truth. And once the truth comes, because if you have good in you, you do good. Good does not come from evil people. And imagine everybody around you wants to hurt you, including your mama. They want to strangle you badly. You disagree with your mother, and you will realize that she is not who you think she is. Because that emotional love is a lie. That emotional love that you people feel for each other is a lie. Is evil, because emotions are coming from thoughts. So you're being controlled. The best state to be in is zero thoughts. And that's why we do a silent prayer. All right? What about curses? My uncle died after saying no one in his bloodline should take alcohol. Let me tell you this for free. Nobody and no one has ability to curse you. It is you who believes in these things and you become. Whatever you believe, you become. No one has the ability to curse you. They did not create you. How can they curse you? They didn't. The only thing that happens is if you have disconnected yourself from the source, which is the biological father. By the way, a stepfather is not a father. A stepfather is not a father. Can we agree on that? So stop going and forgive or to apologize to your stepfather. He's not your father. Your father is your biological father, the source. It doesn't matter what your mother told you about the source. Go back. Because that is where your source is. That's where your identity is. And the moment you disconnect from that identity by getting angry, by resenting him, you get into the fallen state. And in the fallen state, you can't see light. You can't see the truth. You are emotional. You are undecisive. You are overprotective. You overthink. You love people emotionally. And you rely on your thoughts instead of revelations. That's why you don't trust God. You're always thinking about the future and the past. So these are the things you need to overcome. So if you're in a fallen state, trust me, nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. That's why you receive a punishment. It's the same way when you fall away from nature. You build a house on a path of a river, it will take it out. It doesn't matter if you build the best house. It doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter how much you've made in terms of money or material things. It doesn't matter how good you look. But you're in a fallen state. Punishment is coming. It's just a matter of time. If any case, you are crying yourself in that pillow every single night. You have a very beautiful car, but you sit in that car and you wonder, why am I even in this car? It depresses you. Huh? That's why you're hooting all over. Right? What is your opinion about transporting dead bodies from America to Africa? Now, one, I don't have any opinion about anything. People who want to do what they want to do, let them do it. I've also, I'm raised in Western, where a funeral is like, hey, people in Western, Kisumu, basically the Nyanza and Western region. Western, Kisumu, Kakamega, Bungoma, Vihiga, where else? Kisii. Hey, these people have, hey, my friend, we have cultures that actually, I was so grateful when COVID came. Because at that time, you would bury someone so fast and forget. Hey, like a whole week of mourning. And then somebody died in the US. You guys are here with WhatsApp groups. Or somebody dies here and the son is in the US. So we have to wait for the son to come because, you know, he's the breadwinner. His word is final. Hey, and people are so fake. Hey, let me tell you. I would see people crying in a funeral. Watu wanalia mpaka wanagaragara. Yani, everywhere. People are so dramatic. Women, to be specific, they are so dramatic. And now you can see they're even hiring mourners, professional mourners. So people would cry in a funeral, and the next minute they're eating, and they're laughing and giving stories. They've even forgotten this guy died. And in Western, people would even compare a funeral to a wedding. Oh, unajua ile matanga ya nani ilikuwa mbaya sana. Ilikuwa hata hatukukula. Ile harusi ya nani hata haikuwa na chakula. Imagine hata wajichinjia ule baba ng'ombe. So it's all about arguments and ego and all that. I understand issues with culture. I have nothing against that, but I'm just saying, in most of these cultures, should stop making sense, because look at it this way. Like in Western province, somebody can spend about 500,000 on a funeral, only to get 100 bob on sadaka maalum. People give 10 shillings, yet they are complaining about meat. They wanted a bull. Yeah, Dr. Lewis alikufa anafaa chinjiwe bull. Bull itoke wapi? Yet you're bringing in 20 shillings and writing in a book. So they have this kabook there, and they write in a kabook, and I'm like, what type of nonsense is this? So when COVID came, somebody will come and they are buried. I was like, now COVID is going. COVID is gone. We are back to the same square. So they spend so much money on a funeral, somebody who has passed, without even knowing that there are people who, this person has left children, they need to go to school. And then they promise fake promises. Politicians come in and they promise these fake promises there. Oh, you know, hey, kumbe, they've already hung the coat in your house. If you know what that means. This guy comes in and speaks with authority on the funeral. He's controlling the programs on the funeral. He's the one who is the chairperson for Sadaka Malum. Yet, he has already put a coat in your home. Yeah? He's already chewing your wife. He's like, oh, oh, Lewis alikuwa mtu mzuri. Lewis alikuwa mtu mzuri. Lakini, wacha tuonje mate yako. Let's taste your saliva. Hey, ta, wait. Hey. Now, bro. You're tasting my hey, mjane saliva. Wait. So it's all pretense. I sit there and I just like, I look at this and I'm just like, what is happening? So the other day, like sometimes last year, I went to bury my uncle, a very good uncle of mine. Okay, when I went to bury him, I'm there and people are in this somber mood. At some point, I was hoping that I'll get into that somber mood. You know, I was hoping that maybe my chance has not yet come. I will get into that mood because I would see people when we were going to the mortuary. People they are crying. People are sad. Others are hugging each other. Now cousins are hugging each other and pressing each other's ass, and I'm like, Kuzo. Yeah, Kuzo has found a chance to actually grab another Kuzo's behind. So I'm like, people are crying, and I'm like, okay. So the day of the burial is the most dramatic. Yeah? When this guy is being taken into the grave, that's the most dramatic time. So everybody is like, hey, mama mane, and me, I'm there sending this guy peacefully, like, hey, welcome Changa, I'm saying this guy should go and rest. People are crying. I'm just like, what? I've been here for the last 3 days. I'm not yet there. That feeling is not yet coming. Why? So I wasn't feeling guilty that maybe I'm the bad one. Like, I can't even cry on my uncle's burial. I know most of you can relate. Sometimes you're sitting in that funeral and people are crying. You're just wondering, why are they crying? Why are they crying? He's gone. The weird part is, if that person wakes up from that grave or from that coffin, everybody will run. So then why are we crying? Oh, you can sleep with your father on a bed when he's sick. Yeah? You can sit with him on a bed. What happened to YouTube? Good, it's back. It's back, right? I can see here. All right. So yes. So you can scream on that funeral that this guy is gone, I'll miss him. But look at it this way. You can sleep with your father on a bed when he's sick in the hospital. But the moment he's confirmed dead, he has become your enemy. The moment the doctor just comes and says, you were sleeping there, you didn't know he's dead. Now the doctor comes and confirms, hey, this guy is becoming cold and all that. And he confirms this one is dead. Some of you are trying to avoid being there. You run. Yeah? So yes, let the dead rest. Let the dead rest. Amazing. So, let me take you back to something before we talk about the rape stuff. Okay? And keep your questions coming. If you feel like you want a conversation with us, you can actually just come in and let's roll that conversation. Ask those questions, I'll respond. Now, remember to like, share, and also subscribe to the channel, because it's very important for us. Our growth is very important so that we get to reach more people. All right? That's something here. Now, listen. And before I forget, if you're on TikTok right now, 115 of you, simply go on 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗏 platform on TikTok and follow it, because we would like to do these lives on that platform. 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗏 is a new platform. I think it has around 300 people. Go there and subscribe or follow. That will make sense to me. Now, this week, a lot have been happening in Kenya. A lot has been happening in Kenya, and I was just wondering, where are we as a nation? Where are we as a nation? So a lot of things have been trending. One of the highlights that I was sitting back and just observing, because I'm so good at doing these things. I sit back and just observe, just the same way we did with the Gen Zs. We could observe and we just sense that this was not political. This was something else. This was lack of authority. This was an absent fathers. So these guys were getting schooled in the streets. So I sat back, and when people were going there to, oh, you know, hey, you have to support us. If you don't, we'll unsubscribe. I was just here doing my shows, if you remember, because I didn't see the reason why. I wasn't compelled, because there was no reason why I should go to the streets for a reason that I didn't understand. Either way, this week, is it this week or last week? This week, there was a gentleman who was here who was called 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗃. Hey, 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗃 brought problems. A very young, vibrant, noisy, and fun guy, full of energy, testosterone on the roof. And this guy wants to bomb every roof to get his goals achieved and smashed. This guy has super energy, just like any boy should have. Energy to actually make things happen. So this guy is touring the world and all that. And this energy is so charming. And of course, men and males and boys, all of us were screaming and following him everywhere because of the need to be heard, of the need to be seen. So we were following him because we respect somebody who was actually a form of authority and is actually conquering. So we admire that. So men were following him. But I was looking closely and I was just thinking, because I didn't see a problem with that until I saw a lot of women and feminists coming on the internet to actually bash men. So everybody was putting out a status, oh, you know what, it's so sad to see men following a boy and screaming like that. And of course there was a lot of backlash, and the war looked like it's between men and women. But of course, with the bigger eye, you'll always see the war is between what is good and what is evil. It has nothing to do with men and women. So then I was wondering, is it because women were feeling jealousy because now the spaces that they would like to occupy, men have occupied it? Was it the case? Or was it that these men have lacked a father figure in the homes? They've lacked a real role model in their lives. And now this one happens to be that person that they can actually bring in. So actually most men would have been running away from their problems, because this is a figure that represents life. And every man wants life, freedom. So Speed was a representation of freedom, stability, meaning, and life. And this is what is failing in the homes. So this is actually an epitome of those things. This guy travels without limitations, and you there, you can't, because you have to be asked, unaenda happy, right? And even if you're not asked, you don't even have the finances that can actually help you travel all over the world. You're struggling. You're still trying to find yourself. So now any opportunity. So the truth is that most men were actually running away from themselves. They were running away from the fact that they don't have the ability to provide at home. They don't have that energy. They are not free. They are in bondage and prisons. And they actually found a chance to exercise themselves. So it was like a form of freedom. And then women are used to men who are diplomatic, men who are focused, men who show or are decisive and all that. To know that men are supposed to be. And then comes a guy who is totally the opposite of what you've been raised and conditioned to think and to know, that men are supposed to be this type of way. This comes a young guy who is totally the opposite of that. He's noisy, he's everywhere, he has full of energy and all that. Things that you are raised to know, that men are supposed to be reserved, they're supposed to be calm, they're supposed to be this type of way. And this guy now provides a total opposite energy. And then that total opposite energy, men related with that energy. That's why they followed that guy, because they respect it. Is it not the same thing that maybe a musician like Samido does? Women attend a lot of shows for Samido, screaming there, and nobody says anything. Is it not the same energy? It's only that Speed is a different one, right? Because Speed is a gamer, so therefore women cannot relate with these gaming things. But let's say music, soap operas, if it was Alejandro coming in, I know men will sit back and women will be there. But apparently, because we are seeing different types of, we are seeing our men behaving differently. These are not the types of men we know. So we are seeing them behave differently. They're just like, are we supposed to do what Speed is doing so that we get this attention? It's a battle between attention, right? This guy acted as a real role model. He was alive online. Something that most men have not seen for a long period of time. There is that power in every man to conquer, but most men That power has been suppressed by the control that comes in with lack of an identity. So as you're looking at it in terms of, oh, you know what, men are chasing this boy, oh, it wasn't a battle between men and women. It wasn't even about I shall speed. No, it wasn't. That should be actually a wake-up call. That it's actually a representation of freedom, a representation of energy, a reminder that every man wants that type of confidence and every man would like to conquer, because men respect the man that every woman wants to be with and every man wants to be like. Hello? Hey, aya. Men respect, and even women, they respect and adore a man who every woman wants to be with and every man wants to be like. Just take a second and digest that statement. Sit back and just digest it. Don't be in a hurry. 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗏. Maybe you're somewhere taking two for the road and these words are sounding like they are You see that? They're like, be on the table and digest that statement clearly. Men and women respect and adore a man who every woman wants to be with and every man wants to be like. Aya. Number 2, the thing of hugging trees. Have you seen? Acha tukunywe maji. Have you seen that? Everybody's hugging a tree now. So it started with somebody just from nowhere, hugged a tree, and of course it made sense. Apparently it made sense to those who don't have an identity. That, you know what, for me to actually preserve environment, I have to hug a tree. And guess what? Hey, everywhere, anywhere you see politicians coming in, please go the opposite direction. However good they sound, however good they articulate their statements, go the opposite direction. So now everybody's hugging a tree. Oh, I lived in, I was so harassed there. You don't tell us what you did that actually caused you harassment there. We were not there. So you're bringing the story to us. You need to give us the entire story. Tell us, you know what? I carried my bad habits to Saudi Arabia and I realized, you know, this is a Muslim nation. And therefore these bad habits of mine have to be subsided. Or rather, I'll receive the punishment. So you went there. You did not tell us when you're going there. So you get there, you misbehave there, you get punished. And then you come back and tell us, you know what? I have suffered in Saudi Arabia. I cannot go back. Let me hug a tree for the sake of the suffering that I had in Saudi Arabia. Where? Hey. Sit back fast and relax. Yeah, and I know this is an emotional topic. Oh, you know, there are real guys who have actually really suffered in the Saudi Arabia and those Arab countries. I mean, we were not informed when you're going. Were we? If you went there and everything worked for the sake of you and you made a lot of money, that ego will come and rub in to other people. You not hug a tree because you made a lot of money. Have you seen a guy coming in and hugging trees saying, oh, you know, I made a lot of money in Saudi Arabia. Let me hug this tree for the money. Did you see that? So now it's all about clout. Everybody's hugging a tree to actually attract the attention, including pastors. People who actually know they have medical conditions. Somebody has a kidney failure and they decide, you know what, I'm going to hug a tree to get their attention. So it's actually chasing a thrill. It's an emptiness inside us. We want this attention so bad. That's why we're chasing that clout. That's why we're using the tree. It's like a hashtag. Hug a tree. We are so empty. Oh, we are so empty. So how does hugging a tree actually demonstrate environmental care? You tell me. Don't we just use common sense and plant more trees? Do we have to hug a tree for 90 hours to just prove up? But again, it has nothing to do with me. So you hug trees. Keep hugging trees. I'm looking at it and just thinking, where is common sense? There are ways you can actually advocate for all these things. You imagine Wangari Maathai would just hug a tree for 30 hours to just tell you guys, you know what? I am actually an advocate for the environment. Would we actually have Karura? Would we? You imagine me here coming in and hugging a tree and saying, if I hug these trees for the sake of diabetes, my clients who are diabetic will heal. And then politicians come in and splash some 50,000 there. Oh, these guys, hey! And then we bring in all the noise. And because it's almost heading to campaigns, of course, your member of parliament will be there. In like a tracksuit and to sports shoes. It's only that he can't fast because the pot belly cannot allow him to fast. I'm like, wait, you trending, even if you're trending, I am not part of it. No, that way, I refuse. I sit there looking at you hugging a tree for the sake of what? Oh, there was rape, so we are hugging tree for the victims of rape. How is that going to change the evil nature in people? Even when you're hugging that tree, you're hugging it to get the validation. That's why there are cameras everywhere. You're chasing a thrill. There's validation everywhere. If that was not making sense, you would not even hug a tree. You wouldn't. You would actually advocate for things differently. But how does hugging protect victims of rape? Stories zenye hamtaki kusikia, si ndio? Hiyo hamtaki. We were raped, or we succumbed to a lot of pressure in Saudi. You cannot imagine, because your daughter has never been raped. You have daughters, they'll be raped one day. And hey. Who told you I'm paying attention to what you're saying? I'm paying attention to me. Yeah? You have sisters. Don't you have sisters? So you want me to actually fall for that victim mindset of yours? Dawe. We need to step up, right? We need to step up. So ladies and gentlemen, the spiritual order of life: God above men, men above women, women above children, period. Any distortion in that order, we suffer. Any distortion. Let's say the men are absent. Women don't have love for children, because love comes from God to the man, from man through the woman to the children. So therefore, if the man is absent, where is the woman getting love? And of course, women cannot love men. They are the ones, because it comes from the man, through them to the children. That's why men should stand up. Men should teach women how to raise their children. And that's why men should settle for women who are agreeable. Most of us settle for things that are beyond us. You want to settle for a woman that you guys can share bills. You want to settle for a woman who is thriving in a political career or in a career. She's so good at her career. So you want that thrill that people will say, hey, Dr. Lewis ameoa nurse. Hey, hiyo familia ni ya madaktari. And your mother is always here. Your mother is always here. Oh no, there's no way you can marry a maid. This one. And yet you are now navigating towards that maid. Remember, your mother did not have an education. So most of your mothers advise you the wrong way. I don't know why we follow this all the time. And your fathers are so silent, they are calm. Wanambuanga nyinyi mmenyeshewa, simba akifika nyumbani anaingiza mkia katikati ya mguu. Your father is so silent, says nothing. As your mother is shouting, because your father is afraid that if he says anything, he will lose your mother. And the society, that society he has created in his head, will judge him. He will lose that status of a married man who has taken care of his family. He is scared. That's why he's lying to your mother every single time. Because if he tells the truth, it is over. And he loses his status quo as the chairman of that society of yours. So we have a lot of weak fathers. So when the fathers are absent, that is dangerous, because children grow up without a masculine energy, children grow up without authority, and children grow up without love, because love has to come from the man. Now the most dangerous one is, which most of you have actually hailed from. You have a weak father but very present. You have a father that substituted fatherhood with a career. So your father would prefer sending you money so that you guys don't hang out. Your father will constantly be absent chasing paper. He's present, yes, physically sometimes, but he's always outside chasing paper and saying, I'm chasing the bag. Without the money, you guys cannot live the life you're living. I'm doing everything for you. You're doing everything, but no presence. We don't want your money. Just the same way your father does not even want your money also. Do you realize that? That now you think because you're sending your father money every end month, you think your father wants that money. He wants you there. Go and visit your father in the villages once in a while. Connect with him and hear what he's saying. Don't tell me, oh, he's a drunkard. Huyo ni pesa tu anataka. No. Your dad does not want your money. He has survived all these years without your money. So, a present father who is weak and who is evil is even worse than an absent father. That's where we hail from. That's why you don't even understand why you're angry, why you have anger. That's why you defend the evil nature in you every single time and you say it is human nature. It is not human nature, it is just you. Because you had a present father. Because when I say absent fathers, you're thinking, maybe this one who was raised by a single mother is the one who is supposed to go through this. I was raised in a family that was stable. Why am I going through this? You are the same. On the platform, we say thin and fat are the same, right? Yes, that's the same scenario with you. You had a father who was present but very weak and decisive, not a leader, shared bills with your mother, who was afraid to tell your mother the truth. So he led in lies. So he led you into the fallen state. And that's where we hail from, most of us. Our families are fathers who are weak, liars, and weak, very weak, bitter males. And they married because of an ejaculation. Some of them married because your mother had already conceived you. So he was forced to marry your mother. Yet he was coming in to just ejaculate. Maybe it was a quickie. This guy was coming into the fence in the evening at 7, or in the tea plantation, somewhere in 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗃. And your mother, you know, those days, there were no phones. So when you agree you're meeting at a place at 11 a.m., all of you will be there. Because if you miss to be there at 11 a.m., that date is gone. So your mother, your mother was loyal because your father proved to be this different man, a decent man. He has some two vibes and he has some kashamba. So your mother fell for that and then came into the tea plantation at 7 in the evening. Unajua wanaume kagiza kakiingia kidogo. Every man is confident with darkness. There's like a confidence that comes with darkness, my friend. That's when you start stretching your hands to touch those titties. That's when you touch that woman's thigh and see how she reacts, and you're like, this one, she doesn't know. So that's what your mother did in that tree plantation, and Mzee just ejaculated quick, fast. 2 minutes is over, game was over. And came you. Now, he has to take some responsibility. So they had to push this woman to be the wife. So Mzee was like, but me, there's nothing good about this woman. I didn't even like her. I just wanted to, I wanted to exercise. And if you look keenly, 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗃𝗃, let me tell you something about 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗃. Clinton has mentioned that. Let me tell you, 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗃 is a place in Western, okay? So I used to play football. Should I say this? I used to play football, okay? So there's a team called Green Devils where I come from. That was my home team. So I'd play football. We used to train from around 4 to about 6:37 there. So I'd go play football, and after football, of course, I would exercise my testosterone. So the field is, let's say, here. Let's say like where? Which example should I use? Anyway, I'll give with distance. So the field is about 15 kilometers away from where that girl of mine used to live, okay? So 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗃 is about 15 kilometers away from the field that we used to train in, a place called 𝗟𝗃𝗃𝗃. So we'll go and train, and by 6:30, I'm like, Mimi, I'm not training beyond this 6:30. I have to leave. I have things to do. I have to deliver milk, which was a lie. Which milk? Not unless I'm talking about the other milk, if you know. I have to deliver the milk. So like, this guy from 6:30, you can't find Lewis. Okay, I'm gone. Now I've trained. I'm so tired already. But because of the need to ejaculate, I will still run from there, from the field, 15 kilometers away, to go and see a girl called, let's not mention the names. I get there, it's around 7. So one day I went there, and it started raining when I was on the way to those sides, okay? You know, you go those sides, and then you play some 2 games, and you dip in the dipstick, you release the milk, and you come back. Now you have to run another 15 kilometers back home. And you see, your mother is waiting for you because she was all over in my head. So they are waiting for you. So you have to receive some whips. But of course, I've already deposited the milk, so I don't care about the whips now. Okay, I can withstand the pain of the whips. But of course, I've done my thing. So, so I'd go there. So one day I went there and it started raining before I got there. I was just like, today it might be difficult because we used to meet in a joint somewhere. Now I'm running there, I get there. A good thing is she was there, so the loyalty. So we would meet at a place, and then now she has to survey the area in her home so that nobody notices that the gentleman is around. And then I have to get through the window into the bedroom. I'm like, babako up. So that faithful day, it had rained, and I didn't know, you know, in these mid-class places like in Western, we have these mud houses. So there's this a hole that they dig, and then ni kama wanakanyaga hiyo matope, so they add in some water and they make the mud. This mud is left overnight so that the following day it's used to actually build the houses. So I didn't know they have actually dug that hole. Hey. So I come in, and then she takes me through the pavement, and then I get into the window. I'm in. So the moment I got in, that's when I realized, hey, there's a mess. Because now the mother came in. And of course, I had to go back from where I came from. Ay! Makosa ilifanyika. I had to go back through the window. Now, that hole was on that side of the window, so I didn't know because we came with the pavement. But beyond the pavement, there's that hole. They've dug there, they've made the mud, so it still has a lot of water in the mud. So me, I jumped through the window and straight into that mud. Eh! Hey, do you know how difficult it is to get out of the mud when you're trying to run? My friends, I left my shoes there. To cut the long story short, I left my shoes there. And that day, that was, hey, anyway, wachana na maneno yangu, wachana, tukunywe maji. So, I'm getting home, already my trouser is dirty. I don't have my shoes. I've left my shoes somewhere. And you know where I come from, there's this saying that we say, if you leave your shoes somewhere and then somebody picks those shoes, they can easily bewitch you. Hey, I went into prayer and fasting. Wasipate viatu zangu. Bubai, wasipate viatu zangu. I've never received my shoes up to now. But anyway, we keep moving. Hey. So the need to ejaculate. I can land in serious trouble. How many of us have only realized that this one that you brought here is not anywhere near what you wanted to actually bring here, what you opted to bring here. This one is comme ci comme ça, like. And then now she wants you to escort her. So you imagine my struggle. I've went there, I've not deposited the milk. I've struggled to get out of mud. I've left my shoes. I have to run another 15 kilometers back home. I have to face the wrath of my angry mother. Hey. Things men go through for the nut. Retain that semen, please. You realize there's more to life than just ejaculating. Wachana na mimi kabisa. Either way. So this is the truth. So without fathers, there's a problem, right? Because children will grow up in chaos. But with presence of fathers who are weak and decisive, I will use a very good example. There is this priest, the 310 priest. You know him? The 310. Huh? We don't want to mention names, but we'll use him as an example. Have you seen what is actually happening? Have you followed keenly what is actually happening with no eyes of judgment, just to learn? Have you followed it keenly? You've seen what is happening, right? So you think I'm crazy? And these are people who are spiritual leaders. And these are people who, their churches are full of women. So they use that emptiness because of lack of fathers and presence of weak fathers. Children have voids in them. Children suffer because of that. So fathers should step up. And mothers should allow fathers to actually be part of the lives of these children. It doesn't matter what happened. What happened between you and your husband or your ex-boyfriend has nothing to do with your children. All right? So this guy is so crazy. And if you look at events, you'll see there's a whole big mess. Because sometimes back, the sister was actually killed in an Airbnb. You remember? Yes, the sister was killed in an Airbnb. And he was the one who actually fast-tracked all the processes of burial and all that. And he said he's not pressing any charges. I'm just like, Your favorite sister has been killed in an Airbnb, and you're telling us, oh, you know, I'm a man of God, I forgive, I move. You remember that? So now comes there, this place where now he has to actually take care of his own children. And you can see the mess. Because the children are a true reflection of who the father is. Apparently, you'll see the same father saying that hii tabia iko kwa mtoto ini ya mama yao. That these children are just dumb as their mother. This is coming from their mother's side. When the truth is that these children are actually a reflection of you. It is a mirror image of who you are as a father. Huh? What a mess. And then I look at him, he still comes out and says, you know what? I actually exploited these guys. I'm just giving back the money that you guys gave me. I made $1 million every single day. I'm just looking at him and just like, what? That's how bad we've fallen. But again, we can't blame him because that is a true representation of who we are as a nation. We can't judge him, just like our president, just like everybody, our leaders. They say this statement today, tomorrow they're saying something else, and it's okay. Why? Because we relate to them. We are them. They are a sample of us. So we cannot sit there and judge 310. No. These churches are full of women who are broken. They are full of men who have no fathers. So they see a father figure in him because whatever he says, they can relate to. Most men find a father figure in the internet. Speed proved that. Most men find a father figure in all these online influencers. Most men find a father figure in the big man called the politician. Because there is no father in the home, so therefore they have to find a father outside. They have to find a real role model outside because there was no role model here. And if he was there, he was a liar. He was weak. He was undecisive. He didn't even lead in truth. He was hiding something always. That's where we are at the nation. That's where we are. And it shall get worse because at this moment in time, how many sons are being raised by mothers alone? And these mothers call themselves single mothers. You saw that video where a mother is recording a son and asking the son, telling the son, I'm sorry, I picked the wrong father for you. And then asking the son, if I bring in another boyfriend, would you accept him? I'm just like, what is wrong with these people? But again, we can't judge her because that is who we are as a people. We are empty, all of us. So this guy found a chance to manipulate people because in that church, there are a lot of people who come there for the sake of hope. They come in to buy hope, and hope is you living in the future, which you don't have. So the moment you realize you don't have a future, you will not live on hope. You will live in the present because that's your real reality. Why are you always hoping tomorrow will be better than tomorrow, than yesterday? Yet you don't even have 10 minutes from now. Why are you living in the past? You don't even have the past, but you're always constantly dragging your past into the present. And now you're struggling, you're suffering because you are in the fallen state. Living in the past, living in the future, being anxious, and then you label it overthinking. Overthinking is basically an identity, a false identity that you've adapted. It's not you. And most of these things are happening through you, not to you. Please, get this right. These things are happening through you, not to you. So allow them to happen and move because you cannot see heaven without seeing hell. So let them happen to you. That's why suffering is important. So keep suffering because through that suffering, you will seek God. And through that suffering, you will release the identity. You will surrender. And basically, getting an identity is saying, God, I surrender. I cannot do anything on this one. Take over. So it's basically surrendering. So this takes me to the issue of rape. This is not to disrespect people who have been raped or girls who have been raped. It's crazy. It's crazy. And rape is something you can't wish for anybody. You can actually, as a father, you can actually destroy anything that rapes your child. Right? You can. Because it's crazy and it's bad. And it's destructive. It's the spirit of evil controlling people and men to actually do this to children. But let me ask you this. You were raped 10 years ago. How is that relevant to you today? How is that relevant to you today? How are you still holding this against the perpetrator up to now? Don't you realize that whoever you resent, you become? So you're actually becoming more evil, just like the same person who raped you. So you are constantly hurting other people who are actually innocent in this story because you've actually failed to move on from your past. You failed. You've dragged your past into the present. That's why you've decided to become a lesbian because I hate men. You don't hate men. You hate your mirror image. You hate your mirror image. You're living in the past because if you decided, you know what, the past does not matter because it's gone. And whatever happens tomorrow is none of my business. I'm staying present. What should I do? In the present, I want to fix myself to become better. So what do? I overcome those that I resent. First things first, you overcome your evil mother. And then you overcome your weak father because they released you into the world where you got raped. They did not protect you. And then you overcome the perpetrator. So you must find the confidence because this is about confidence. And the books and the psychiatrists, the psychologists are warning you against facing those who actually perpetrated this to you. They're telling you you cannot get yourself into that space because it's unsafe space. Yes, it is unsafe space. But is it unsafe more than the hell that you're living in? The anger that you're actually inhabiting? It's not. The hell that you're living in is more. So now you have to write a letter and then go and burn that letter. That's craziness. You're hurting yourself because of things that you did not have control over. And the one who actually did it to you did not also have control over that. The spirit that is in you, that spirit of anger, is the same spirit that was in him. So you who has anger, you're willing to destroy anything, right? Because you're thinking, I was the one who was raped, so I deserve the best, I deserve better, and all other people deserve worse. That's why you're hurting other people who are coming in innocently. So how long are you willing to stick in that? Unless you overcome the one who actually did this to you, who is actually controlling you. Because look at it this way. You hate this guy so badly, and if this guy comes and tells you, even though I raped you, you still were the worst person you ever had sex with, you're not even a good person in bed, how will you feel? Ladies, kindly answer this question to me, please, in the comment section right now. I want to use that answer to explain something. If you have ever been raped before, and I know some of you have already scrolled because you think I'm saying things that are outside of this world. You hate what you're hearing because you don't want the truth to be exposed to you. So if the person who actually raped you comes to you and tells you, or that guy who sodomized you comes to you and tells you, you know what, even if I sodomized you, or even if I raped you, up to now, I have had sex with 1,000 women. You rank the list. You are the worst person I ever had sex with. I even regret raping you because I didn't get any value from it. How will you feel? How? Eh? Tell me, how will you feel? That a guy you resent so badly comes and tells you, you know what, even if you resent me, I was actually justified to have sex with you because you are very bad. You don't even know how to have sex. No wonder I raped you. How will you feel? You will feel bad. So why would you feel bad? You're feeling bad because you allowed him to control you. You have allowed him to control you because you resent him. And whoever resent you become, now you allow them to control you because you have their identity. That's why their words are hurting you still up to now. So you expect them to come and tell you, you know, you are the best person to ever have sex with? Oh, you know, I'm sorry. Does it change the fact that they raped you? It doesn't. So stop expecting anything. Stop expecting anything. Simply go and take your identity back because they have your identity. They took it from you. When the moment you started resenting them, your identity was taken. Now they have it. So you must fix them to overcome them so that you get back your identity. And now anger is gone. And now you'll know how to treat other people. You will actually, once you get that identity, it will actually protect you from against all the evil nature of other people. Simply understand that these people are under the control of an evil spirit. If they knew better, they would not have raped you. So that means the spirit of evil was controlling them. The same spirit that is controlling you now. You allowed it to control you for resenting this guy. So you need to actually face them, overcome them by telling them, you know what? I know whatever happened is a bad thing, and I'm not excusing it. However, I want to overcome it. I want to be over it. So I apologize for resenting you. Because you know you resent them, and it's wrong for you to resent human beings. Because they are God's images. So you simply go there and admit fault, that I'm sorry for resenting you, and God takes the burden over you. You can't write letters. You can't go for therapy every single time. Therapy is going to only help this percentage. It will just make you feel good. But feeling good does not make you different, does not change your situation. Because you're chasing a thrill of feeling good. You feel good now, how about tomorrow? How about the person you're dating or you're in a relationship with? You feel insecure. You're looking at them and you're just like, this guy touches you and you dry up. You're in a marriage, but you can't even feel the sex because it doesn't make sense to you because you hail from a place where you are hurting. You're full of anger. You look at your children and you're just like, what? You're crazy. And now you teach those children to be angry. And then you release them into the world and the cycle continues. And then we label it generational curses. They're not. They're just lack of identities. So go face your mother, apologize for resenting her so that you overcome her weaknesses and her anger. Go and face your weak father and apologize for him releasing you into the world without protecting you, and yet it's his role to protect you so that you overcome his weaknesses and you never attract his weaknesses in life. Go and face the one who actually you resent, the perpetrators, and apologize for resenting them, because if they knew better, they will not do it. And now that you know better, you can't stick in the darkness with them. Overcome them, and you will see perfect peace, my friend. You will not, it's not like you'll stop being angry, but you will catch yourself getting angry. So you will catch yourself, you will hear that voice, and you will discern it, not with anger, not with emotions. You simply discern it and relax, and the wave is gone. So that's how your life will be. Identity tells you or teaches you to identify the voice of the evil. And God says, my children will know me through my voice, and my voice is a voiceless voice. So it's a voice of revelations, not a voice in thoughts. Every single thought in your head is evil because it was put there by people. So it's not who you are, it's a false identity. Drop it, except thoughts of the present. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? Any questions? Identity Friday is bigger than you. Can you talk about, this is Ameso Kenya 2105. Daktari, can you talk about the lady who was undressed inside a bar by the US guy? Oh, wait a minute. Is it the same story that I saw? This guy recording a lady and undressing her, showing her buttocks and trying to touch her inappropriately, trying to get her boobs out and showing her private parts and telling her you've not put on a panty. Is that the woman you're talking about? Kindly confirm before I talk about it. Amazing. Have a question before you go ahead, browse, ask that question, and if you wish, you can actually come in and we have a conversation. There are 39 people on YouTube. Thank you, 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗲, for this. There are 39 people on YouTube, but they are so mean. They are so mean. Yani they can't like the life because they are thinking if they like the life, this guy will grow. He has potential. This guy has potential. What of us who don't know who our father is, the better. But you know, you don't know who your father is because either they've blocked you from knowing your father, so your mother has never told you, or he's dead. If he's dead, amazing. If he's dead, say, amazing. Go and eat an avocado. But if he's alive, you can only know it through asking your mother. So ask your mother where your father is. If she tells you, well done. If she doesn't, try and find out. If you can't find out, it's well. Do not bother about it. Just apologize to your mother for resenting her, and apologize to her for actually blocking you from seeing your father. Once you do that, stick in the silent prayer. Start doing a silent prayer every morning and every evening to overcome the thoughts and the false identities of your mother. And now it becomes easier. So you have to face your mother either way and overcome her. Tell her, you know what? I really apologize for resenting you for no good reason, and it's my fault. I'm sorry. Once you say that, the anger shall leave. How can we find you on YouTube, please? Hey, Suleiman, please. All 133 of you, please. If you flock on my YouTube right now, you will make me happy. Of course, you can't make me happy because nothing from outside me can make me feel some type of way. However, I'm just asking or requesting if you can actually go to YouTube. 139 of you on TikTok. Go on Uncle Chile platform right now on YouTube and simply just press that subscription button. I give you a minute or so. Uncle Chile platform on YouTube, we are live there right now. So it's called Uncle Chile. Just go there and type Uncle Chile and simply press that subscription button, and you can like the live so that it gets to other people, because these are lessons that you will not get anywhere. You will not get this in that psychiatrist consultation room. Not even the psychologists, not even your preacher. They can't put a hand on you and pray the demons to get out of your head. I am helping you to actually see life because I've seen it. It has worked for me. The light through me can get to you, and you can actually become light to other people. All right? So please go there and do the do. So already, thank you so much, those of you who are actually liking and sharing that live. It's amazing. 43 people now. I can see people actually getting there. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. I appreciate. Bro, nimeshindwa kuacha mkate. Okay, some of these things I told you last week. On Monday we were talking about what? We were talking about these pillars of healthcare, and we said identity is pillar number 0 of healthcare. Some of the addictions hail because you don't have an identity. Actually, most, if not all addictions, they hail from lacking an identity. So basically, you don't even have a reason to do it. The moment you get a reason to do it, you will do it. Right now, you've not suffered any condition. Right now, you've not developed the discipline, the consistency, because you lack an identity. So how about you starting by forgiving your mother for remodeling into her own image? Then forgive your father for actually imposing these weaknesses on you. And then from there, now you have your identity. Now you find reasons to do things for the sake of you and not doing it to actually impress or find validation. It has to start from the identity part. Thank you so much. 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗲, Computers, Hello Docs, thanks for keeping us informed. Very grateful. Amazing. Thank you so much, 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗲. I appreciate you, man. Top facts. How can one break a soul tie? You don't need to break a soul tie. These are things that are beyond you. You have no power. Realize this. There's nothing you can control in this world. You have no control over anything. And again, you are not responsible for anything that has happened to you or anything, whether good or bad. You're not responsible. That's a beautiful thing, right? Because imagine even God does not judge you. So who are you to judge yourself? You don't have control over anything. So therefore, you can't break yourself from a soul tie. What you need to do is to fix yourself. Fix the identity. And then that identity will open up ways for you. Now you live life through revelations. That's you trusting God. Right now, this thought of soul ties has been put in your head by somebody. It's not your thought. Right? So therefore, you are submitting to the voice in your head. That's why you're believing that they are soul ties and you're becoming those things. So free yourself by facing your mother. Apologize to her for resenting her. Apologize to your father for becoming weak and believing all these things that they put in your head. That script that they wrote to you. You are basically an actor in a script you did not write. Go and overcome that script. That's the only time those things start to drop. And they will drop naturally. So you don't drop them. The identity that you inhabit is the one that will help you drop them naturally without you having to struggle. You will not control anything. You will not care about anything. You will not think you love anything. You will not live in the future. You will not associate with the past. You will always stay present. It is that simple, bro, because you're better in the present. Because right now you don't have any soul tie. Eh? You don't have any soul tie. The moment you just want to put that penis of yours in a woman, that's when you realize, by then maybe I'm going to get some spirits from this woman. See that? So you start judging yourself and creating an opinion. Now you are guilty. And the moment you judge yourself, the moment you fail, the moment you go into deeper into the devil's pit. Dog, what's your take on womb release? There's nothing like that. There's nothing like that. If you're infertile, simply fix the problem. Fix the estrogens. Start eating clean. Start focusing on staying present every single time. And then your man should not ejaculate every single night. Why though? Why? So thank you for the subscriptions. I appreciate. Hey Doc, what about me who looked for my dad and was rejected outright? Can you please bring back that post? And was rejected outright. How do I handle that? Who rejected you? Boy, kindly request to be a guest, okay? I want to explain something using that point. So please request to be a guest. It's very important. Boy, do not be shy of requesting to be a guest because you're not seen either way. Just request to be a guest and we will address that and you will learn so much from it because some of these conversations need the talk. They don't need me to just respond to text messages. They need the talk so that we show you where the problem is and where you should be headed in the present. All right? And it's unfortunate that you're rejected when you're trying to find your identity. But again, it's actually a blessing. The problem is we are so much in the fallen state, in the darkness, that everything seems like it's attacking us. Some of these things happen for the best interest of us. If any case, everything that is happening to you is because of your good. Imagine that. Everything that is happening to you is because it's actually happening for the better or for the good of you. The moment you have that mindset, what do you mean by identity? Identity basically means reconnecting with your biological father so that you align with the spiritual order of life. Whether he's a drunkard in a pit or a trench, it doesn't matter. You must align with him. Because we said that love flows from God to the man, man to the woman, or through the woman to the children. Right? So without a father, or with the presence of weak father who doesn't understand that spiritual order of life, children suffer. So most of us come from families where we had weak fathers who did not understand the spiritual order of life, and therefore our mothers became angry at them because of their weaknesses, and then they tried to remodel us against these weaknesses. That's basically remodeling us into their own image. So we became a mini version of our mothers because our fathers allowed that. So you see, that's a weakness in our fathers that made our mothers resent them. And then our mothers protected us against those weaknesses because women hate weak men. All right? And then that is remodeling us into their own image. So we became women from within. We became our mothers. And now we have a false identity of our mothers. You see that? Now we have a false identity. We don't have our identity. So our mothers stole our identities and gave us theirs. So they wrote a script in our head. That's the identity. So now you have an identity of your mother. That's why you forgive her because you want to overcome that identity and that conditioning. And then you forgive your father because you want to overcome his weaknesses so that you don't become as weak as him. Because when you remodel into your mother image, you start resenting your father, you will become just as weak as your father. Also, you become your mother, you become just as evil as your mother, as emotional, as undecisive, an overthinker. You live in the future, you live in the past, you worry, you have fears, just like your mother. So you need to overcome that false identity of your mother and that weakness of your father. And now you have your own identity. So now you are aligned. And now everything happens through that identity because God will reveal to you how to live your life through that identity. And that's amazing. That's perfect peace. That's heaven. Don't wait to go heaven up here. No, that's heaven, living in heaven. But when you're living in anger, that is hell. So anytime you have anger, anytime you have insecurities, anytime you have fears, doubts, you self-sabotage yourself, you judge and you have opinion about things. You're living in the future or the past. You have jealousy. Anytime you have these things, you're operating under a false identity, so you don't have an identity. That's what we're talking about. All right? And an earthly representation of God to a child is the biological father. The biological father. Yes, must it be the biological father? Yes, it must be the biological father. A stepfather is not a father. He's stepping in, so he's not a father. It must be the biological father because your seed and your source is your biological father. That is your earthly representation of God. Without a father, I am doomed. Now I understand why my life has been messed up for me. Lil G, the truth is, yes, without a father, you're not doomed as such. You will struggle to figure out who you are and how life happens. But you're not doomed because now you have the light, you've seen the light, you know what to do to actually get back your order. And you see, it's not your fault that you don't have a father. Whether he died, whether he ran away, it doesn't matter. He ran away from your mother, he did not run away from you. That's the truth. And whatever happened between him and your mother has nothing to do with you. Therefore, you should know that most of the times we resent our fathers through the anger that is coming from our mothers. We have false identities in us. We have our mothers inside us. So the anger we have against our fathers is basically from our mother. Because we are not, that is not us. We don't want to hate our fathers because the moment we hate our fathers, we have a void inside us. We become empty. That's why we seek validation. That's why we are always on the internet posting things so that people can like and we get the thrills out of it. That's why we're jealous. We want to compare ourselves with other people. That's why we suffer. That's why we have anger. So this emptiness inside us cannot be filled by external things. And that's how we end up into addictions. We think having multiple sex partners will actually fill that void. It can't. That's why we exploit most women sexually. We think that if we have certain type of material things, cars, houses, money, it will fill up that gap. It can't. It's like a father figure cannot be filled with money. Just the same way fatherhood cannot be replaced by material things like money. And most fathers are that way. They buy gifts to their children so that they get validation, so that they are seen as good fathers. They will do anything to make sure that they provide this heavy lifestyle for their children for the sake of comfort. But comfort does not replace fatherhood. All right? That's why you're always out there trying to find things. Anything you do, you have to post your wife for us. You have to post your children. You have to actually ask things. If you're doing any type of content, you have to ask us, guys, is this the right content? Do you think I should do better? Who do what you're getting revelations to do? You don't do what we are telling you to do. Sorry. All right? So yes, your anger, your confusion, your indecisiveness, your inability to align to the spiritual order, your inability to provide, you looking for love, you feeling empty every single time, getting angry and thinking you have control, you thinking about the future, and you thinking about the past and living in the two, which don't exist. That is you having no identity. That is because you lacked a father or you had a weak father who was present but basically absent. All right? Yes. Everyone with identity crisis, trauma from a broken family needs to have the brain circuits rewired. Basically, spiritual aligning is what you're just talking about. It has nothing to do with the brain, because the brain keeps memories, okay? It has everything to do with the spirit. Remember, you are a spirit living in this physical body. You are not your body. That's why I've told you, most things are happening through you, not to you. You're a spirit. All right? And this does not matter because this aligns to the spirit that lives in you. This is under the control of the spirit that lives in you. So your role is to fix that spirit. And the only way to fix that spirit is to overcome those that you resent. Your parents are the first on that list. All right? Amazing. How do you deal with betrayers in relationships? A good question from 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗲. Number one, there is nothing like betrayers. If you look keenly, you realize whoever you're calling a betrayer is somebody who did not conform to your form of control. Hello, Elizabeth. The one that you're calling a betrayer did not submit to your form of control. Remember, you in your head, you're being controlled by a script that you did not write. Therefore, this is what you know. And you try to exercise this and impose it on other people in your relationship. Now you struggle. And now you call them betrayers because you've taken sides. You think you're the better person. No. The reality is no one from outside and nothing can betray you except you betraying yourself. Again, realize if they are betrayers, you are a betrayer. Why? Because we attract who we are. So you basically did not have an identity. You ended up attracting somebody who did not have the same identity because we attract who we are. All right? And now you resent them. You call them names like betrayers, yet you attracted who you are. That is a mirror image of who you are. So you have to take responsibility. You have to say, you know what? I have a role to play here, and my role was to attract who I am. So therefore, my only role right at this moment in time is not to play a victim. It's not to play a victim and call them the bad ones, the betrayers, no, the traitors, no. My role is to make sure that I fix myself so that in the present I can attract somebody who is exactly as me. Yeah. So if you put the battle outside you, you're losing the point. You're missing the point. You have to fix you so that you attract you. Are you getting it, Elizabeth? Does it make sense? Yeah. It has to make sense. It has to make sense because there is nothing outside you that is your business. Outside you, nothing. If you take the battle outside you, you're playing a victim. Even that man that you sired a child with, that is your choice. That is your choice. Therefore, you can't blame them for running away from you because you chose a person who did not have an identity. So they came in knowing that you will provide, knowing that you lead, and because they come from a family where the mothers were providing and the mothers were leading because the fathers were weak or absent, you attract that person because you come from the same centers. And now you start wondering, why am I attracting people who cannot provide just like my father? It's because inside you resent your father. You became your father and you attracted the weaknesses of your father. It's just a different body, but the spirit is the same. Look at the mirror. Who do you see? Period. That person in the mirror is the one who you will attract. That is the honest truth, my friend. All right? It's the truth. Take it. Fix you. Once you fix you, the spirit that you now inhabit, the spirit of good, protects you against the spirit of evil. Therefore, you'll understand that people are living in hell. Therefore, you'll simply discern them. You'll not react to them with anger. Remember, you overreacted to a lot of things when you're growing up. Religion, school and education, parents and their zeal to want to succeed through you. Some of them were failures totally, and they simply thought that, you know what, if I invest money in this child, maybe they will get where I did not get. So they're succeeding through you. Comparison between siblings that causes sibling rivalry. That's a weakness in parents. Okay, so the moment you start paying attention to who you are as a person, you realize you've actually been attracting who you are. I never realized that until 2016. I had my mother inside me so badly, and every woman I was attracting was exactly the image of my mother in a different body. And then I would play a victim because, of course, I was a woman from inside. I would play a victim and blame them. How can you leave Daktari? How? After all I have done, that moment in time, I have 5 girlfriends. 5. And one girlfriend has left. I'm crying myself out as though all the 5 have left. I have 4, for heaven's sake. But I'm like... After all I've done for her, why would she leave me with these 4? I wanted... I wanted... Hey, Lewis. God overcome your mother. You're behaving just like her. And that was the hardest thing to do because most men are afraid of their mothers. Oh, you tell a man to tell his mother no. That's why we have all this chaos in terms of mother-in-laws and daughter-in-laws. Yeah? They're struggling who will sit in the front seat. They're struggling with who will actually make decisions here. You know, my son loves mokimo. You've come here, you're cooking him coast dishes, pilau here. Look at how my son is getting thin. Mothers-in-law, and they control, they exert their sons. And yet, you see, mothers-in-law exerting that control to their sons, they are hating these daughters-in-law when the truth is these daughters-in-law are the same spirit. So mothers are afraid that these daughters-in-law are exposing who they are. Because the same spirit that is in these mothers is in the sons. And the sons ended up marrying their mothers. So now conflicts begin because the devils that are in your mother are the same devils in the head of your wife. So conflict begins. So the 2 devils are fighting. And you there as a weak man, you are trembling like a leaf. You can't tell them, hey, ladies, style up. You're trembling. You don't know. I am afraid of offending my mother because, you know, she raised me this way. You know, she has done everything for me when my dad was not there. You know, she's the only thing I have. And here, you look at this side, you're like, if I lose my wife, I'm losing everything. We have built a lot together. She was supposed to find you built. She was supposed to find you built. Why are you building things with her? That's why she's called a chick. She has to find a nest. Hello? Are you there? You're creating a nest together. Oh, mami, gonga hii msumari. Mimi nakuja na mabati. Build a nest for the chicks. Kwenda huko. Ladies and gentlemen, Uncle Chile in the building. Sometimes I tell you things you don't want to hear, but again, it's not me who is telling you. All right? So deal with it. If I make you feel some type of way, you are the problem. If anybody or anything makes you feel some type of way, you are the problem. You are the problem. Because how can I make you feel loved? This emotional type of love is nonsense. The way men show love is simply provide for her, lead her, teach her things, guide her, lead her, and make decisions for her. And the woman who will align to that is your woman. The problem is, we know that this woman does not want to align to this, but we still hold on. Why? Because they need to ejaculate. She has slapped you with all this sex, and now you're just like, if she leaves me, where will I get the sex from? You're so desperate. That's scarcity mindset. Scarcity mindset. Ladies and gentlemen, there's another platform on the internet that is called Health and Wellness Sport. That is also my platform. Health and Wellness Sport is rolled down by by Dr. 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗏𝗏 himself. Teaches you a lot about health, teaches you a lot about diets, lifestyle, basically everything to do with health and medical conditions. It is there. Go and just search Health and Wellness Sport. If you're on TikTok and you've not followed Health and Wellness Sport right now, just please follow it right now. It shall be amazing. Also, we have merchandise on Health and Wellness Sport that we do sell. The mugs, the coffee, the fermented cabbages, the tallow, the hoods, the sweatpants, all of them are there. You can actually go to 𝗟𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏 House and request a gentleman called Brian. Second floor, shop number 60. It's called Brian. He can serve you right with all these things. Again, our online consultations, we do online consultations both for identities and for health. And we use the contact that is the office contact 0707074722. That is the office contact that we use. So simply send a text on WhatsApp, your name and what you would like from us. You will be booked in, either on a physical appointment, which starts on the 3rd of February, or the online appointments, which happen every evening. All right. So you can do that. You can book your appointment with that. You can use that for weight loss programs that happen every single month. And thank you so much for all of you who have joined my weight loss program in January. It's amazing. You will see a whole different person in the next 2 months or 3 months. Welcome on board, and you know how we do it, right? And these are part of the conversations that we have on those platforms. So yes, be sure to join those platforms. Weight loss programs run every 15th of every month. We alternate the 3-month program with a 2-month program. So the 3-month program is close already. In February, on the 15th, there'll be a 2-month program. So you can actually join that in case you missed out on this one. Right? We also on a 48-hour fast from today all the way to Sunday, which is amazing. That is part of the spiritual aligning, and the body follows suit. So yes, you'll get health benefit and spiritual benefits from that. And we advertise this on all my platforms. On Facebook, I go as 𝗟𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏. You can also follow us on that platform. All right? Yes. So yes, for the physical consultations, we shall start them on 3rd of February. We apologize for January because, of course, I told you I'm on transition. And the deployment, actually, we are working so hard to make sure that these shows happen. And you see, now I've done this show, and again, I have to do this show after 2 weeks. That doesn't make sense at all. And that time I'll be in Nairobi, of course. So it doesn't make sense. The deployment really changed a lot of things. And yeah, we stay present, we adapt to whatever happens. And yes is the answer, and we keep moving. So when you have a chance to do these shows, we'll do them. We'll advertise them, and we'll tell you when. So we do shows on Health and Wellness Sport on Monday. And we do Identity Friday shows every Friday on this platform at 8:30 p.m. Kenyan time. However, because of the circumstances, we don't know what will happen. But anything that happens, I advertise it on my Telegram channel, which is Health and Wellness Sport, on my Facebook platform, 𝗟𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏, on my, sometimes on these shows, if God gives me the grace, but mostly I do it on those 2 platforms. Thank you so much for being part of us. Do you do reviews after 8 weeks program? Yes, we do reviews. First things first, okay, there's a lot going on there because different conditions require different solutions. So yes, we address each person the way they come. We don't just generalize everything. You have to individualize therapy. And of course, for identities, that's the only thing we cannot do an 8-week review. We stay present. So whatever happens in the present, we do it now, and we keep moving. Amazing. So we'll do the 8 weeks review in February because there are people who we saw in early December that needed a review in January. That will only mean that those reviews will be done in February. Okay? Yes. Memory is so excited by that phrase, that build a nest for the chick. I am working on getting my identity. Alice Ombeo. My 7-year-old daughter has anger. How will she overcome it? Now, Alice, your role is not to care about your daughter. Your battle is not in your daughter. Your daughter is a mirror image of who you are. You taught her anger. She was not born with anger. You are the one who taught her anger, and you are taught anger by your mother because of the weaknesses of your father. All right? So you don't need to look at your daughter and get surprised. That's just who you are. Your role now is to actually work on overcoming that anger in you. And then you'll become the source of light to your daughter. So you'll not need advice on how to help your daughter because she will help herself. All right? But children learn by imitation and observation. So when she sees you overreacting to things, she adapts that. She understands that that's how things are supposed to happen. And possibly you get to overreact to her when she's seeing it because of the weaknesses of her father. Just the same way your mother overreacted because of the weaknesses of your father. So the cycle continues. So what you need to do, you need to work on yourself, overcome that. Go and face your mother and apologize for resenting her. Go and face your weak father and apologize for resenting him. And then once you do that, start doing the silent prayer every morning and every evening so that you overcome thoughts of the day and thoughts of the night. You'll become a free agent. You'll have perfect peace. And now through that identity that you will now have, God shall reveal to you in every single day on how to raise your daughter, how to live your life, and how to raise your daughter in ways of the truth. All right? So that's how your daughter will now adapt that. And now she will see light and she'll become a mini version of you. So you can't fix your daughter. You have to fix you. And then your daughter will fix herself. What about getting angry with my brothers? Same problem. You're not getting angry with your brothers. You have anger inside you that was taught to you by your mother. Your brothers are only helping you to exercise the anger. Remember, when you're being raised up, your mothers used to compare you with your brothers and used to compare you with other siblings, and that's where sibling rivalry began. So due to this comparison, some of you and your brothers felt uneven, and the chaos began. So sibling rivalry started from that. And now you're basically exercising the anger that your mother taught you when your brothers do things. You are reacting to what your brothers are doing, which is an evil move, because if you didn't have anger, you will not get angry at your brothers. You will simply discern what they are doing because you understand they are in the fallen state, and you keep moving. You keep working on yourself. But now you're taking the battle out of you. You're taking it to your brothers, when your brothers only help you to exercise the anger and the evil nature in you. So therefore, you must overcome the same way. All right? The battle is not in your brothers. They are actually good because they are helping you know that you actually have anger. So they're supposed to expose that. All right? And it's good that they're actually doing that. So be grateful that you can actually catch yourself getting angry at them. Relax into it and it shall be gone, because it's a wave. Because the moment you react to them, it's because you expect them to behave in a certain way. So you're trying to exercise some form of control to them or on them, just the same way your mother is doing the same thing to them. So when you try to exercise the form of control to people, you expect them to behave in a way that will always please you, because you're chasing a thrill. So now if they behave contrary to that, you become angry. So they've just triggered the anger in you. So the problem is you. Go and overcome your mother and your father, and your relationship with your brothers will improve. And again, you realize it doesn't even need to improve, because you don't even care. You simply live your life, and they will either align or ship out. Amazing. We've done 1 hour 51 minutes, and I think we should call it a night, unless there's a question that we need to address or somebody who wants to bring in a conversation. We can call this a night. Let me see if there's any. Coach Shadrach, Naked Truth. We need more of this. Thank you so much, Shadrach. I appreciate that. True Oscar Temi is in the building. Resi Ayuma. Good teachings, Doc. Thank you so much. I appreciate. Neshkal, Dr. Lewi. Leo story at tree. Hugging, still laughing. If you're still laughing at the tree story, the tree hugging story, you should laugh also at the story from 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗏. The one of falling in a pit. You know, weak fathers. Married. A lot of boys are married. A lot of boys are married. These marriages that you see out here, they are chaotic because boys get in with the hope that they can get sex every night. So it's all about the sex. And that's why they are using these women as sex toys. And also women are using them as sex objects. Men, did you know you don't have the power to give a woman an orgasm? Did you know that? Hello? Shook. So it's not TikTok, it's the internet. Either way, so I was saying this, men, you know, you cannot give a woman an orgasm. You don't have the power to give a woman an orgasm. She allows you to give her an orgasm. So she's the one who allows you. First, she allows or she gives access to the sex. So she's the one who gives you access to the sex. And then she allows you to give her an orgasm because she makes it easier for you if she likes you. Oh, if she doesn't like you, you can pound that yam for 2 hours and nothing is happening. And then now you have to start using saliva because she's drying up and telling because she's switched off totally. And now it means that most people, and this becomes boring in marriage. I put out that video that was talking about this. Truth is, most married boys went in because of the need of sex. They knew that they will be getting sex anytime. When they get into the office and the secretary denies them sex, they'll come back home and nut into their wives. So they came in with the wrong idea. Some of them came in with the mind that they need to share bills so that they grow together. And then they realize, there's no growing together. So the truth is, men do not have any power to give a woman an orgasm. It's the woman who actually allows you to give her an orgasm. She makes it easier for you to actually touch places where she will easily get an orgasm. If she doesn't like you, if she's doing it for the resources and the money, you will struggle. Thank you, Kate Nuta. I appreciate for the gifts. You will struggle. So stop thinking that you are a hero, that you've pounded her, all this sweat everywhere. You're thinking that you've done something. Nothing. Realize that the same woman you're pounding for 1 hour can actually get satisfaction in 3 minutes on a quickie. What does that tell you? Win her mind before winning her organ. All right? Yeah. So we are using each other as sex objects. Men are having sex with women, and in their heads they have another woman. Maybe an office secretary, or maybe the crush they had, maybe their ex-girlfriend, maybe the woman they saw in porn. And women are doing the same thing. They're using men as sex objects also, sex toys. So it's basically a dildo. You're using this man where in your head you have that flexible porn star. You have that office guy. You have that gym instructor and gym trainer of yours. So in your head, you're basically using that guy in your head to actually help you get an orgasm while you're using this toy here. That's the sad truth. So it's becoming chaotic, and marriages are breaking because of this. Because the moment we stop faking, everything opens up and makes sense. And now the two demons are together. You get in with evil mindsets. So now two demons are here. One is fat, cannot erect when they came in for the sex. The other one is just all over. Now everybody's blaming each other, and now chaos begin. Now marriages are breaking. Divorce is everywhere. And some of you are divorced, but you're still staying together. It's just that you have not officialized it. Some of you hate each other. You look at your husband just like, this fat one here, he's about to snore again. Some of these guys are looking at you as the wife, and they're just like, I wish you are my secretary. I wish you knew how to dress like the secretary. Even if you dress that way, your thighs are just growing these wrinkles. I don't like them. This smell of yours, this scent of yours. Now is when you're realizing that actually your husband's sweat smells bad. But in the beginning, his sweat was something. You're just like, Papa, hey, sweat on me. Yeah, take it into my eyes. I don't mind the salt. But now apparently you're looking at me just like, I hope you don't erect this night, because I can't stand thatness. It's a wasted scene. You guys you're lying to each other. You're using each other. How many men are having sex and ejaculating using another woman in their heads? Yeah, most married men, and these men who are in corporate business, these men are in, is it Ruaka or Ruai, where women are stepping on their backs with high heels, apart to excitement, and then they come back home. At least they can manage one an erection. They come in and they try to perform, and the wife is there dry as crazy because they resent this guy. That's like because her mind is now controlled by that office guy, that delivery guy, that Glovo guy who comes in with a bike smelling sweat. That sweat is testosterone and pheromones. His wife is just like, if I get hold of that t-shirt of that guy. Do you know how many boda guys are actually climbing your women? Your women will tell you, these guys know their secrets, so they use that against them. And these women open up their legs so easily for them, so that they get favors from them. Your Uber guy brings your wife home when she's drunk. What do you think they were doing all through? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's a story for another day. That's a story for another day. Identity Fridays is where to be. It's a home of everything. Thank you so much for taking time to be here. 2 hours gone already. I appreciate you for taking time to be here. Thank you so much for trusting us to be the people who actually can help you see the light, and through that you get to fix your own identity. Remember, I am not here to advise you. Remember, I'm not better than you. No, I'm always working on myself to become better. That's why I fast every weekend, and every day I do a single meal. That's why I am always willing to be here to remind myself of the younger version of myself, the mistakes that I've done, not with the intention to stick in the past, but intention to actually make my present better. I am not in any way trying to become a legend. I just want to become a better man every single day. So should you. All right? So never chase all these thrills and these dreams of becoming a legend, because you will never be. All right? If any case, you are a legend in the moment. So whatever you're chasing is an illusion, is a script in your head. Stay present every single time. Start doing a silent prayer every morning. Once you wake up, do a silent prayer. 5 minutes is enough. Do a silent prayer so that you overcome thoughts of the night. When you go to bed, before you go to bed, do a silent prayer so that you overcome thoughts of the day and become who you are supposed to become in the present. Always stay present. Fight by hook or crook to be present every single day. Be grateful when you catch yourself going into the future or living into the past. Because the past is intended to make you judge yourself. The future is intended to make you become anxious so that you never appreciate yourself in the present. Therefore, stay present every single time. Be grateful you can catch yourself going into the future or the past. Come back here and continue living. Trust God by relying on revelations over relying on your thoughts. Go and apologize to your mother for resenting her for no good reason, so that you overcome her weaknesses, her evil nature, her emotions, her anger, her insecurity, her fears and doubts. Go and overcome your father by forgiving him. Admit fault. Apologize for resenting him, because if he knew better, he would actually have done better. He allowed your mother to remodel you into her own image. That is his fault and his weakness. And then your mother resented him for that. So therefore, you need to apologize so that you overcome his weaknesses. So that if you're a woman, you don't attract your father in a marriage. If you're a man, you don't adapt the weaknesses of your father. Go and do that and you will overcome anger. You will be so amused. But do not go there with the intention or the expectations that anger will just leave. No, because the evil spirit cannot die in you that easily. If any case, the moment you start trying to fix yourself, that's when the evil nature becomes louder in your head. That's when all the temptations are coming to you. You need to be so still and calm to overcome it, because he says, bring all your thoughts into captivity and stay still and know God. Once you know that statement, you will always stay still. You will not judge, you will not create an opinion, you will not rely on your thoughts, you will simply allow yourself to get revelations. And trust me, that is your biggest fear. You are afraid that if you drop the thoughts, you will die. You will not. You are afraid if you drop the future in your head, you will die or you will succumb. You will not, because you don't have that future. All you have is the present. Stay present every single time and enjoy your weekend. Have a good time and bliss. Amazing.